Alright, Babber. Hello folks, welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. Our plan today, I believe, is to get the rest of this place uncovered and probably wind up in a few more fights. It's a bit tight down here. It's a little bit of a squeeze. It's a little bit of a squeeze. Bit of a corner. Slide the back end out. Oh, that's a bit tight, isn't it? Oh, Stormwall Gorge. Wow, that put paid to those plans. It's flooded. It's flooded. Do we have to wait for the tide to go out in the day, or is this just like permanently flooded? Time of night is it? Hour 5. How many hours in a day in this place? No idea. I probably should know that by now, but never mind. Oh well, that puts paid to those plans. Let's head east, north. Should we be going north? Ah, there we go. Durford Village. Let's go to Durford Village. Let's have a wander round, see what quests there are, see what we accidentally hand in because we've forgotten what quests we're doing. There's a quest to take us to Durford Village, isn't there? Travel to Durford Village. Find someone in town who knows about the ruins. Oh, that's pretty. I haven't been here yet. What we got? The Temple of Barath, Durford Mill, Dracogen Inn, Dracogen, something like that. Tiggle's something, Corrory, can't read it from here. Hendina's Apothecary, Winfrith's Arms and Armory. Oh, a shop. Lovely job. Grieving Mother. Well, let's have a look at the temple. Start as we mean to go on. Hello? Are you... Oh, you're all cowled. What's going on here? Medrith. An elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cowled figure standing near him falls silent.
Hail and well met.
Hello, House Dominio. Oh yeah, we're friends with them. Greetings, friend. A slow smile forms as he eyes you. If I'm not mistaken, you and I share a common acquaintance in House Dominio. Perhaps? He winks. Discreet. I can see why our mutual friends trust you. I'm here on a little errand. There's a thief hiding out in the village. An orphan named Nifri. She took something that belongs to the Dominials. I want to find her and get it back. And so? Diplomatic. Simple. You're the smooth talker. All you need to do is find her and lure her out of hiding. My friends and I will take care of the rest. Ooh. I could draw her out. I'm thinking that if we can talk to her, there might be an option where she can just give us the item and then she can bugger off, because they're probably going to beat the shit out of her or something, you know what I mean? She nods. He nods. She won't know you. It'll be simple. Questions. What did she do exactly? She stole from our friends the Dominials, and they can't let her get away with something like that. Okay, alright. I will go and get back to the search. Alright. What do you got to say for yourself? Minding your own business, huh? Huh? Yes. I have no trust in people like you. Let's see what we can do. We might piss them off. Not a fan of authority in any way, shape or form, but you know, people should have morals, and I get we should have the police and blah blah blah, but you know what I mean. Things like this, where there are like vying for powers, and it's a bit more mobster. Talk to Bodemar. No one trusts me with anything more than lighting candles. Are you a bit useless? Are you a bit useless? Selby. Careful. Don't set fire to yourself. Let's talk to Bodemar.
I already told you what.
What?
I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
You mean those people just outside watching the village looking for that girl that stole something from them? Poor fellow, that looks painful. Kana frowns, his brows knitting. It's a sorry deed, striking a priest.
How may I help you?
Alright, what happened to you? Alright.
Strange hooded men asking about those ruins. Cleoban Relag. Most of the brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry.
Oh, so not the blokies out on the river. Okay, this was someone else who's a step ahead of us. Alright.
They wanted to know where Cleoban Relag was.
I think that's what I'm looking for.
To keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
Interesting. This is those leaden keys. Yeah. Aloth frowns at you, looks at you frowning, frowns at you looking. That does sound like the leaden key, doesn't it? Yes. The old priest nods politely. Is there something else I can help you with? Yes, tell me where to find the ruins.
The tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there, and they'll retaliate against us too.
Okay. I talked my way in.
We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
Well, we're not going to beat you up, old man. That's what we're not going to do, because that's just mean. Hiravurius. He folds his arms and stares at you with one eye and a scowl. So this is where I say, go into the ruins and I'll kill you. And that's when you say, Hiravas, I'm a watcher. And you're no match for all of us, and we've got a good reason for this. And then I give up trying to argue with you and leave you to dig your own trespasser's grave. And I'm only being half metaphoric. We sometimes make Derwoodians dig your own grave before we kill you. When the kids hear about it, it's a fabulous deterrent. It's a fabulous deterrent. Mr. Word. You've accidentally a word. A dangerous plot is unfolding here. I've got to stop it. No. Trust me about blah blah blah. I think the first one. A dangerous plot is unfolding here. I've got to stop it.
If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way.
Oh, yes.
I'll have to take you at your word.
Yes.
You'll find Cleoban Relag here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly. To stay out of the ruins.
Okay. Alright. Tell me more about Durford. Alright, so that's our main questy bit. That's sorted. So let's go and see what side quests we got around here. So looks like we're gonna spend a few episodes in Durford in the foreseeable future, picking up quests and looking about. So once the episodes are out, if you want to skip forward a few, if you prefer the combat, feel free. We'll know later how many episodes it is. Right. Okay, blah blah blah. But as they do most times this deep in the Durwood, they're suspicious of travellers. But with all the brigands and refugees, who can blame them? This is the Temple of Barath. What can you tell me about Barath? Barath is the most universal of all the gods. It oversees portals and cycles of all kinds, even life and death itself. Under Barath, an ending is merely a passage to another beginning. Barath has many representations across time and across cultures. Around the Durwood, you'll commonly see it depicted as the Pallid Knight or the Usher. The Glanfathans, however, know it as Buin Ianku and Anku Ibeunen. Yes. Okay, lore stuff. Tell me about the Pallid Knight. She's one of the youngest manifestations of Barath, but a familiar one nonetheless. Stories describe her as a gaunt knight in black armour with black eyes, black hair and milk pale skin. Rather goth-like then. Very what's her name? Helena Bonham Carter. But gaunt. She demands an impossible toll from travellers who have tarried too long on her lord's road. Some challenge her only to slay themselves in the process. So if we come across the pallid knight, run away. Who is the usher? Kith have written stories, songs and poems about the usher for centuries. Sometimes he's folk, sometimes dwarf, and sometimes merely a walking skeleton. He never speaks, but he guides the way to death and the next life. He also creates the circumstances for the wayward to stumble into their own graves. Okay, I've never heard of Benwenyanku. It means life in death and death in life, respectively. You see them as two skeletal figures, one male and one female. Explorers have found them carved opposite one another in doorways, but I know of no particular legends that speak of them. Alright, fair enough. Nice. Got a bit of story, bit of lore. Nothing to... oh, little pot there. That's stealing. Oh, candles. Flames dance amidst scattered offerings. Keys, coins, and the tiny skulls of birds and mice are mired in the melted and hardened wax. That's kind of gross. Never mind. Temples, eh? Religion. It's all weird. Right. Where are we going next?
Think we could get another dog? Keep this one company? Just a thought.
Aww. Yeah, we'll get another dog. Durford Mill. I think that's our next place. Let's turn off fast mode. That's not fast mode. D, isn't it? D for speed. Let's turn off fast mode. Oh, I don't want to pause it. Just in case we see some NPCs and I just scoot straight past them without even knowing what's going on. Like this fella, look. A word, traveller. I only require a moment. Good day. The guard sighs with... oh, look. Defiance Bay positive. The guard sighs with relief as he looks at you. What are the odds? Stuck in this backwater only to meet the famed champion of Defiance Bay. Barath's wheel brings mercy today indeed. Hey, look at us. We're getting famous. Nice. His demeanour grows serious. Perhaps you could help. I don't suppose you saw a young elven noblewoman on the road. I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my unit until we find her. Who is she? Who is she? Lady Aelis. He bites his lip. She's the daughter of Lord Nestor Harrond, and she's gone missing. He sighs. Perhaps you could go speak with Lord Harrond at the inn. He'll be grateful for the assistance, and it could be the villagers will open up to you more than they have to us. Yes, another job the cops can't do because no one wants to speak to the cops because, you know, power mad bastards. Right, let's have a look. I'm just going to offend everyone in this episode, aren't I? There's a villager. I'm going on American cops, just what I see on Reddit. Blame Reddit. Blame my little social bubble. Right, the mill. Let's have a look in the mill. Let's see who we can offend in the mill. Millers, probably. Big wheel going around and around. The mill slowly grinds away at a trough of grain. A trough of grain. It's a box stealing. Stealing box. No stealing. Who are you? You're a villager? Who are you? You're a villager. You're no use to me. All of that is stealing. It's no use. No use to me at all. Camping in the wilderness requires... I should start reading these. I should put elevator music over the loading screens. That's what I should do. Next. Right, the mill was a letdown.
Pleasant surprise traveling with you, Haravius.
Nice of you to say that. I was on the road alone for years, and I'm happy to have company for a change.
That part of the country has a saying about Orlands. Face of skin, let 'em in. Face of hair, best beware. But you're more like a skin-faced Orland.
Are you fucking kidding me? My tribe has a saying, head of brunette, they're all set. Head of blonde says everything wrong.
Was that bad? I meant it as a compliment.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Oh, that's a new one. I like that. Right. Dracodian Inn. Dracodian Inn. Stealing. Villager. House Harond Guard. Villager. You must have seen something. I don't suppose you've seen it. No, we haven't. No, not yet. We'll go looking for her. Don't worry. Let's have a little look. Travel to... Right, that we're ignoring for a while. Now, what have we got up here? Speak with Lord Harond at the Dracodian Inn. Yeah, we should clear these, really. I should go back and do these, shouldn't I? Maybe I'll do them off screen. I don't know. Let me know in the comments whether you want to see all these side things. Yes, we'll do that in a bit as well. Let's have keep wandering around the village, pick up more quests, hand in what we get, and take it from there. Let's hope this inn is... Oh, look at this inn. I was going to say, I hope this inn is large. There's a dude called Sid. Mr. Named Character. What we got here? Food. This table has been scarred and stained from decades of use. Oh, hello. This is a lot. I'm never going to read that in time. This portrait depicts a man and a woman dressed in Ada garb that would have been in style a century ago. The heavy frame has been battered, and the plate that once bore the patron's name has been scratched out. They share a passionate embrace which seems at odds with the disgust on their faces. Oh, it's one of these places, is it? One of these weird, unknowable pubs. What?
Even you can understand that.
A redhead stands by the fire, tuning a lute and plucking its strings. She hums snatches of a melody as she goes. Isn't this what Kana does? We're not swapping Kana out, but we'll say she can join us and go to the stronghold if she's a companion. First time at the Dracodian. Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. Say, are you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I could tell you about it all the same. So long as I haven't got to sing, let's have it. Oh, excellent. These rustic fables are always great fun. Let me get out something to write with. It was built in the time of Hadrat's rebellion. An Adarian lady, Thainu, I've no idea, once had a keep here. One of the towers still stands, but the rest is said to be buried under the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadrat's Knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. This inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruin. Built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from the Lady Themu's castle, they say. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into a wall or nailed under a floorboard. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and a meeting place while the locals built their new town. Okay. What's a Lady Thainer? A Thane or Thainu is a man or woman who's part of the military elite. A knight, if you will. Typically the person is inherited. The position is inherited. Yes, you don't inherit people. A Lord Thane or Lady Thane who owns land and also commands several unlanded Thanes. The woman who last held the keep here came from a long line of landed Thanes. Okay. I take it something went wrong. Derwoodians are an ornery lot, and the more these new neighbours met, the more they argued. They realised they didn't agree on much besides ousting the old lord. The biggest divide over the Glanfathians and their nearby ruins. The biggest divide was over the Glanfathians and their nearby ruins. Learn to read. Hadrat's knights and their supporters wanted to keep the peace, but a group of misfits with more anarchic leanings had formed in town wanted to go after the tribes the same way they'd gone after their lord. Soon the villagers were fighting with each other as much as with the Adrians. I don't know how to pronounce that word. In the end, memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the other villagers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines of the War of Defiance, and others, I've heard, found their way into the Guided Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glanfathan tribes. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it makes a good story. She points to the east wall. There's a portrait of one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused. Oh, that explains the portrait. Okay, fair enough. Tell me about the broken stone wall. That was the first major conflict between the original Adern settlers, I'm going to call them Adrian settlers, and the Glanfathans. Happened 3 years into the colonisation when some farmers knocked over an Adran menhir that was part of an Engwithan ruin. The war didn't last long, but it spread quickly and claimed thousands. In the early weeks, most of the colonists didn't even realise there was a war going on until the Glanfathan raiders hit their villages. Well, that's not good. There'd been small spontaneous skirmishes between the colonists and the locals before then, but this was organised, and it was the start of decades of violence between the colonists and Glanfathans. As you can see, Deerwood's full of history, even in little villages like this. Tell me about the War of Black Trees. It started back in the colonial days, almost 30 years after the Broken Stone War. Even though isolated conflict still broke out between the settlers and the Glanfathans, both sides had officially agreed to peace. Edrang Hadret, Admeth's father, was Gref at the time. I take it, what's a Gref? He's a leader of some description, isn't he? As part of peace negotiations, he'd signed treaties prohibiting Adrian colonists from looting Ingwithian ruins. Yeah, we've heard about that. However, he'd been unable to outlaw the use of captured Glanfathans as slaves. A Gref is the governor of a colony and is subservient to the Adrian Empire. The early leaders of the Adi colony in the Derwood, including Edrang and Admeth Hadret, were Grefs. Too many words. At the start of the War of Defiance, Admeth Hadret declared himself Duke of an independent Derwood rather than Gref of the Emperor's colony. Oh, he switched sides, did he? Is that what that is? It was the same term used for leaders of the newly independent Valian republics. Anyway, we haven't had a Gref since. I see. Indeed, the taking of Glanfathan slaves had continued to be a source of conflict. It came to a head when imperial agents, aided by certain earls in the Derwood, began looting the ruins again. See, just... oh. Ooh. Like, why do people do that? Just like humans. See, the Empire had never actually agreed to Hadret's treaties on the matter, and the recent succession of the Valian republics likely left them eager to weaken Hadret's position. The looting sparked a brutal slave uprising and a guerrilla campaign among the Glanfathans. Ah, that's why it was done. Alright, okay. I understand rebellion against things like slavery, I get that. Edrang Hadret was too old to lead forces into battle, so he sent his son Admeth. Admeth made a costly but effective decision that ended the war faster than anyone could have imagined. He burned the forest near the Ice Ain River to keep the Glanfathan warbands from retreating. Thousands of Glanfathans died, and as Admeth repeated his scorched earth tactics in the following months, he wore down the remainder of their forces. To this day, over 150 years later, there are still sections of the Derwood where the trees are nothing but bare, charred trunks. Well, if that doesn't say something about war, nothing does. Blimey. Well, I tell you what, on that depressing story of war...
Perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
What? What? What you say? We'll come to you soon. We'll find this Lord dude who's lost his daughter next time, talk to the barman, and have a little search around the inn and see what's going on. So, until then, folks, bye-bye for now.